Once again from the 2016 CSCCa conference here in Fort Worth, Texas. I have a great opportunity to talk to Coach Jeff Dillman, the Director of Football Strength and Conditioning at University of South Carolina. Coach, thanks a lot for spending some time with us. Appreciate you coming by.
Awesome.
I know you were telling me a little bit about your background, but it'd be great
Yep.
for the coaches out there to hear a little bit about how you got to where you are today and kind of what your path was.
Yeah, so originally from Rockingham, North Carolina. Was born and raised there. Well, born in Georgetown, South Carolina, raised in Rockingham, North Carolina, and went to school at Elon College and then finished up at Appalachian State University. And then I did 3 years at Monroe, Louisiana. And I had an opportunity to go to LSU, work under Coach Moffitt. Was there 3 years, and go back to my alma mater at Appalachian State as the Director of Strength and Conditioning for 3 years. And then was down at IMG Academies in Bradenton, Florida for 3 years. And was at Florida for 3 years. Did a little tour in the SEC. And then last year was at Alabama under Scott Cochran, great friend and a great mentor, does a great job. And then now I'm at University of South Carolina.
So I know you're focusing on football right now. Is that what you've always done throughout every step, or did you kind of get out and learn in other programs?
I've always been involved in athletics. And, I love baseball, play basketball, play soccer, play football, and, had an opportunity to make a decision in my career to do the route of being a football coach or being a strength coach. Well, I chose being a strength coach for 2 reasons. One, I'm involved with all athletics, and 2, I get to go home to my family at night, every night. I don't have to go on the road recruiting. And that's very, very important. I always say this, faith, family, football. But we're dealing with all sports. I've dealt with every sport from gymnastics to field hockey to lacrosse to football to baseball, basketball. I've done it all. And I had an opportunity, and I felt it's very, very important, not only, before you hone into being just a football strength coach, to work with all these other sports, because by doing that, it allows you to coach every individual athlete different. Make sure to understand how to connect with them. Everything's about connection. If you have a great connection with the athlete and they believe in you and they trust you, you can do anything with them.
What was it that inspired you to become a strength coach? Is this something you knew you always wanted to do, or as you were playing, you kind of learned a little bit about it from being an athlete, and you thought, yeah, you know what, this could be interesting, or what got you into the profession?
Well, I had a lot of people that impacted my career along the way. One of my high school offensive line coach, strength coach, and was Todd Hagler. Coach Hag, he's at A.L. Brown High School in North Carolina. A guy named Tom Paris, who is the head coach at Hope County High School in North Carolina. Those guys really impacted me at a young age. And then having an opportunity to, work under some great strength coaches like Dave Richardson at Ohio State and Coach Tommy Moffitt, and having an opportunity to work with Coach Gail Hatch too. And those guys really impacted my career. And then also Scott Cochran recently. I give a lot of credit to Coach Cochran and Coach Moffitt in my career. And, not only have they been, great mentors, but they've been great friends too. And, understanding that, what it's all about. This isn't just about coaching and teaching. This is about being a mentor for young adults to help them grow and develop as people. If you have that drive and that passion to do it for those reasons, you'll be successful. And if it's in whatever you do, but it's all about caring for people.
When you obviously feel strongly about impacting others through your role, when you look at your program, how do you judge whether or not it's successful? I mean, do you look at the people you're helping to mold and what they go on to do in their lives, or is it more focused on the numbers and how they're performing in the weight room?
Well, a lot of people emphasize max numbers and all that stuff. Again, now our job is judged on wins and losses. That's just being brutally honest about this business. And if you don't win, you're not going to keep your job. But the ultimate goal for me is, when I look 5-10 years down the road and the connections that you've met with these young athletes, and they become great men and grown women, and they become good fathers and good brothers and good mentors for other people. And that's where it all comes back full circle. To have an opportunity to be side by side with my mentor, Coach Moffitt, and a great friend, Scott Cochran, and Vic Valoria and Joe Danos, and the memories we have together, but also the impact that we have on the student athletes. And just to see them just grow up and take care of their families and make good decisions and make good choices in life. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It doesn't matter how many championships you won. It doesn't matter how much money you've made. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, your time's up on this world, it's the love you have for people, and what are they going to say about you? Now, there's a thing called tough love. As a coach, I'm gonna treat our athletes like I treat my own kids. I got twins at home. I got 3-year-old twins. Me and my wife, we adopted in 2012 in July. And, I always look, and whenever I'm teaching and coaching a kid in the weight room and I'm hard on them, I look and I say, okay, would I treat my own kids that way? And the answer is yes. Yes, and because you know what? That's how you mold men. That's how you mold, adult women. That's what it's all about. It's just molding them and giving them, things in life and tools to be successful.
So, you joined South Carolina in January.
Sure did.
We were talking a little bit about what it's like when you go in to start a new program before we started the interview here. And you mentioned trust and the need to develop that to then make the impact you're talking about.
That's right.
So can you tell them about how you're going about doing that, starting this program from scratch?
From scratch. So day one, you walk in the door, you have a meeting with the team. And every team that I've started from day one, I've told them this. I've looked them in the eyes. I said, guys, I'm not going to tell you to trust me. Because everybody, as soon as you walk in, you tell me to trust you. I don't know you, and you don't know me. So I don't trust you. You don't trust me. Trust is earned. And the way trust is earned is being consistent. And bringing the same energy every single day. I'm full of passion and energy every day. I always say, hey, bring the juice. I tell my guys, bring juice, baby. Fake it till you make it. But bring it every day, no matter what. And they know what they're going to get out of me. They know what energy I'm going to bring every single day, the passion and the positiveness I'm going to bring to work every day, no matter what. I have personal stuff going on. It doesn't matter. I leave that outside the door. You separate your personal life from your professional life. And, by bringing that consistency every day and caring for them and being there for them and communicating with them all the time, the bond between the strength coach and the players is so strong. It's much stronger than the position coach and the head football coach. That's why I always tell all the athletes when they're being recruited that when you go to see facilities, you better go meet the strength coach because you're going to spend more time with us than you do anybody. And you know what? And that bond between the strength coach and the athlete is so strong, it's a lifetime bond. I have all my former athletes I've ever trained, I have them contacting me all the time and reaching out to me, asking for advice or just talking, and they'll swing by and see me because that's what this is about. It's about that connection.
It's really a unique platform. You're right. When you go in just talking about actually building the program, when you're inheriting new players, what are your steps to get a baseline understanding of where they are today in the weight room?
Well, we start them from scratch. We start them all over again. I don't care if they squat 500. I don't care if they bench 4, whatever. We start every athlete from scratch, and we teach technique. 3 reasons you get hurt in the weight room. Too much weight on the bar, breakdown in technique, breakdown in coaching. The athletes control 2 of those factors, and we control 2 of those factors. Nobody should ever get hurt in the weight room. But you got to start them from scratch because incorporating new things is stress on the body. If you I look at training a little different now than I did 10 years ago. All right, everything's about the body adapting to stress. The stress of not sleeping, the stress of not eating, the stress of school, all that stress. That's stress on the body. You got positive and negative stress. Now when you start a new program, it's new stress on the body because it's foreign. So how do they adapt to it? So we slowly progress them. Some people may have said, if they saw me progress them this year, the first 8 weeks, they would say we could accelerate a lot faster. Well, guess what? We're not running a sprint. It's a marathon here. All right, we don't play till September. So, a lot of people want to go and throw heavy weight on the bar from day one. No. You're defeating the purpose. You're defeating the purpose. And how strong do you really have to be? We're going to be strong now. We're going to have 500-pound squatters. We're going to have 400-pound. We're going to have all that stuff. But they're going to do it right. And if they don't do it right, then we're going to keep them at that weight until they do it right, until the body adapts. Everything's about adaptation.
You mentioned some of the other elements just outside of just lifting weights, such as nutrition, sleeping. Can you talk a little bit about how you're implementing, or I guess, especially at the college level, when you have all these players are still, they're not going to bed early a lot of times.
Yep.
So how do you help them understand the value of that and make sure that you're driving that in,
right.
That they're adhering to that?
So our sports nutritionist is Joey Blake. He's unbelievable. He does a great job, and he's with those guys all the time. He's right beside me when we're having lifting sessions, and he's always making prescribed shakes for the guys and educating them on eating. Take them shopping, teach them how to cook. All that. It's all about, we say this, educate people, train animals. Lawrence Seagrave says that. It's a great friend. Lawrence said, educate people, train animals. And it's true. We're going to educate you on everything that we do. Now, for the sleep piece, we teach sleep hygiene. We're getting some tools in to catch is how much sleep they're getting at night and monitor that stuff. Through Fatigue Science, I've used them before with their Ready Bands. Unbelievable. There's a lot of little tools out there that can do sleep. The biggest thing I tell people is this. You got to try to get 8 to 10 hours of sleep. Now, here's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with college athletes. You were in college. I was in college. We know what college is like, okay? So you got to give and take a little bit here. Now, in the perfect world, everybody's going to sleep 8 to 10 hours. They're going to sleep 8 to 10 hours. Guess what? We're not in a perfect world in college. So what you try to do is you try to get kids right before a performance 2 to 3 days out to really catch up on their sleep the best you can. Because college athletes, everything is structured. Okay, they got very little time throughout the day of their own, and then by the time it's at the nighttime, they got to study for a test or they got to go to a tutoring session, something like that. Now they're only getting about 4, 5, 6 hours of sleep. So now, how are we teaching them sleep hygiene? How are we telling them to take their phone? You know, this is one of the biggest issues. Put their phone down, quit tweeting, quit Snapchatting, all that stuff. Put your phone down, turn all the lights off in your room, turn your brain off. You know, that's the thing. At the end of the day, you got to turn everything off to recover. Two of the main reasons we're having major issues with injuries in athletics today is sleep-deprived athletes and malnourished athletes. What are we doing about it? And you know what? You can't make them do it. You got to educate them. You got to tell them why we're doing what we do. All right? Old school way is just beat it in their head, and sooner or later they're going to get it. No. The new school way is this. All right, we got technology. Let's use technology to teach them. Let's use the education process. That's why I use coaching lightly. We got too many people out there to call themselves coaches, but they're not teaching. We're teachers. There's nothing different than my math teacher, except the curriculum. There's nothing different. You're teaching. You're educating. And the more you do that, the more these kids understand it, and the more they take it throughout their life, and they believe in it.
So you mentioned technology. Are you starting to use data with your athletes to show them ways that they can improve, or actually incorporating that data into the types of training that you design for an individual athlete?
Yeah, to some extent. So we use all, testing wise, we're using the Nordic board to test hamstring strength because, people's had history of hamstring issues where they're not trained to post chain enough. We use catapult system. We monitor total volume, so we're always doing some type of monitoring with those guys to educate them and to have the facts in front of them. Hey guys, here's the facts. This is it. This is where the issues are. We're keeping everything 100% with them. I don't hold anything back. What they see is what they get. I don't care. Because guess what? If you're not honest with them, then then you're gonna let it happen. It's like no stone unturned. That's the key. No stone unturned, and just be completely honest with them. Everybody wants to sugarcoat things in the world today. Who cares about feelings? Feelings. Okay, let's talk. I say in a different term to them, but forget your feelings. I don't care about your feelings because feelings are going to get you beat on the football field, and feelings are going to get people to run all over you. And in the real world, if you let your feelings make decisions for you, guess what? You're going to make bad decisions. So again, everything that we do is going to relate back to real world situations, and because at the end of the day, when they're completely done, football's not forever. Football's not forever. They're going to have to hold a real job. So we're taking all those elements that I learned when I was at IMG Academies, when I worked with the NFLPA and did combine training, and educating them on the day-to-day stuff too, and I just took one question right there and I just twisted around 30 different ways. How about
love it. I love it. Lots of info.
I can talk all day about this stuff. I love it. But at the end of the day, it's about these young men and young women out there and making a difference in their life and make them understand the real truth about the real world. When we're young, we're like this. We look at the world like this. Okay? Hey, as we get older, I don't say old, I say wise. As we get wiser, we see the world like this because we're more experienced. And then the other thing I don't say in the weight room, I don't say the F word. We don't say fat. We say relaxed muscle. You got to get it right, get it tight. No jiggle, no wiggle, baby. Let's go. That's what we do. That's what we do.
I love that.
We say that again. You say relaxed muscle. We don't say fat. That's a bad word. We say relaxed muscle. Get it right, get it tight. No jiggle, no wiggle. Turn up. That's what we do.
Coach, thanks. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, appreciate you guys.
Thanks for spending time with us.
Thanks for all that you do.
Thank you. I appreciate you being here. Again, this is David Harris from Strength Performance Network here at the 2016 CSCCa conference with Coach Jeff Dillman, Director of Football Strength and Conditioning at University of South Carolina. Thank you, Coach.